Hi, my name is Simon Buhajdruk, and in this tips and tricks video, I'm going to show you how to make use of Fluent's report definitions functionality to generate monitor points, both for monitoring into a file or into plots of values or calculations of interest. So this is a fairly new functionality introduced in recent versions of Fluent, and it starts off by actually defining values that you'd like to monitor. So this report definitions area is where you define variables or calculations of interest. So in this sample, I'm going to create a couple new ones. So if I go to right-click on report definitions, right-click new, let's do a couple of volume averages. So I click on volume average, and we'll say, call this one pressure average. And we already have selected pressure. Volume average is already selected. We say we want to average over our pipe, and we click OK. And you can see pressure average is now on a list. And I can do the same thing for, let's say, velocity. So I'll go volume average of velocity magnitude in our pipe, and we'll call this vel average. Now, in this case, I'm actually going to show you one other thing. I'm going to create a volume report, and I'm going to show you, let's say, our maximum pressure. And our maximum pressure is going to be called pressure max in our pipe. Now that we have, our variables or our reports that we want to monitor defined, we tell Fluent whether we want them to be written to a file or to a plot. And we do that through these report files and report plots. So if I right-click on report files, I create a new report file, and here I select everything that I want to go into a file. Since this is a transient case, we're going to want flow time. We'll want our three variables which we defined, and we say which file it is. We'll just leave it as default report file 0. We want it every single time step, and just for good measure, let's print to the console so we can see it being printed out as our simulation is running. So you'll notice this is a very different workflow from past versions of Fluent in that we can do monitoring of multiple variables at once into a single file very easily. And we can do the same thing for plots. So if I right-click on report plots and go new, I can, let's say, select pressure average. And notice how all our other reports have disappeared, and the only one that's still visible is pressure max. And that's because to plot things on the same plot, they need to have the same units. So as you can see here, we've got pressure max. So we right-click or click on that, hit add, and we can monitor both the average and the maximum in one plot. We can say we want it on window 2, which is fine for us every time step, and we can click OK. So you can see that we have a report file definition here now and a report plot definition. And at this point, we can initialize and hit start to run our case. So as it runs, as it completes the first time step, you're going to notice, first of all, that the monitor is going to pop up and appear. There it is, report plot 0, which we defined. And as it completes the second time step, that's when the values will appear. And there you go. You can see our red line, which is the pressure maximum, our white line, which is the pressure average, and we're getting a plot versus time. Once the simulation is completed, now let's start some post-processing. Let's go have a look at our file. So here we are in our file browser. At this point, I can see my file here written to the hard disk. So if I double-click on it, turn off word wrapping, okay, and you can see all our columns. There's our time step number, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Our flow time, our actual time that we're simulating, and our 3 columns that we had selected all in one file. Now this can be very easily brought into Excel, where it can be turned into a table using the space delimited function in Excel. And from there, you can do additional post-processing. So this is now really easy to generate tables with multiple columns, and same with Fluent with multiple plots. I hope you found this tips and tricks useful. Please contact Simitech support if you need additional clarifications or help with this. Thanks.